everyone, so with the Martial Master job enchantments coming out, I figured it'd be a good time to go over Meifan and her future, and just kind of give you a general rundown of what to expect. There really isn't anything super special about the Martial Master job enchantments. It's basically just a modifier on one or two of their skills that allows them to strike at a certain target more effectively. In Meifan's case, it's machines. And out of all the Martial Masters, Meifan is probably the strongest. So let's take a look at her Kaigan quick. So Meifan is a 5/5/5 Kaigan unit. She wants the HP. Her MA gives her like 500 HP. And with the HP from Kaigan, she gets this nice HP pull. She's not a tank per se, but you can throw her on the front lines and she's not going to just fall over. For her Gate 2, she is going to be getting an extra move. And that is probably the reason why Meifan is so great now. That extra move pretty much saved her from a life of mediocrity and really pushed her forward to much greater heights. Because what this will allow her to do is to run her Jaeger passive instead of running the move passive, which will give her a lot more attack and allow her to reach over 1200 physical attack, as you see here. There really isn't much else to say about the Gate 2 other than it's, I think, an additional 10% physical attack, so she does get a little bit more physical attack from it. Now, her leader skill is a 50-20 leader skill, and I will talk up 50-20 leader skills to the end of days. The reason I like 50-20 leader skills is that you can run a mixed party. So when I run Meifan lead, she gives everyone 50% HP and 20% thunder. And it doesn't matter if it's a physical attack unit or a magic attack unit. So I can run Meifan, Rusha, maybe Vanicus or Veer. I could run Gerard. It really doesn't matter. It's just, it gives you a lot of extra bulk and it gives you some extra damage on every single thunder unit. And I think that versatility makes 50-20 leader skills real standouts. Now, there will be maps where you need to do more damage than what a 50-20 leader skill can provide. But for basic utility and tankiness, 50-20 is the king. So let's take a look at her gear fast. Now, Meifan does have her own Nenso, but it's a seasonal limited Nenso. And unfortunately, the gacha that it came out on was a 9-step selector gacha. And not only did I not have the gems, I don't think it was worth a 9-step selector. It does come with an outfit, and I sadly do not have the outfit, and I still am sad every single day. Instead, I run a maximum physical attack Nenso, and when I say maximum physical attack, I mean this first stat right over here that you see on the left side, that 30 physical attack. The reason I make sure I run a really high physical attack Nenso like that, is because that attack there will scale based on the passive she has. And her Jaeger passive and her overdrive are going to stack with that 30 physical attack. And so what ends up happening is you get an extra 90% physical attack on top of that 30, which is super great. Another option that might be even better to run is the Jin Nenso. And one of the great things about the Jin Nenso is you see below that 48 physical attack, there's this vision ability. And that's a really large AoE. It's a dark AoE, and it's not going to be like super over the top powerful, but it'll give her an extra AoE in a kit that Meifan just does not have a lot of AoE outside of the Roaring Slash. So I am using the Roaring Slash. If you did get her Nenso, she has her own VCR, which will replace the Roaring Slash with a Thunder Element attack. Which that goes really well with Rusha's Nenso if she's being run in the same team. But there's nothing wrong with the Roaring Slash. 50 attack, 8 speed, 15 crit, and I think that's 15 paralyzed chance. Not much to say about there. You guys already have it. Regen Armour, like any other this reason is HP and HP regen. It's especially helpful on Meifan, who has a really high HP pool, so she heals back even more. And for the last slot, you can run a bunch of stuff. I like to run Teddy. It gives her a little bit more bulk and some extra jewel gain. But really anything works in this slot. You could, this is an attack on Titan piece of gear, where it gives you 7 speed and 5 slash damage. You could try running that. Saint Meteor is always a great option for some extra speed. It has jewel gain, and it has that free heal on it. If you do have an extra set of Rusha Nensos and you get an extra VCR that has 12 speed and 10 missile modifier, which will help her burial gun do more damage to humans. And there is also an option of running this. I do not run this personally, but it has 10 machine damage modifier, which will stack on top of her already high machine damage, which will allow her to do even more damage. There is a 20% rate heal on it with a small stat buff that's just, it's small, it helps, it's not super significant. And that's 35 defense and magic defense you see on there. It's not a great item in my opinion, but it's an option. If you don't have a Roaring Slash, you can always just use a Vita Ring to stand in. Meifan does want that extra attack, so it can scale with her passives. So, she runs her, I like to run her main and sub from Martial Master. She doesn't have Zeal, Dark Cavalier job enchantment, so I think that the Martial Master sub, so you can make use of the Cedar Flash Stick, is a much better choice. I run her reaction from Martial Master. You run the upgraded Overdrive, and you run the Jaeger passive for the extra boost to your damage. If there is a situation that calls from it, you can always switch this over to move +1 if you absolutely needed it. But, I mean, it's like 200 physical attack on a character that scales off pure physical attack. I can't imagine there are too many situations where you'd want to run that. And she doesn't ever run her Jaeger Dragon Cavalier because, quite simply, the Martial Master just does a better job. Jaeger doesn't offer that much, unfortunately. I do run Jaeger on Itsuki every now and then, if I need it. But let's hop into a map here and take a look at Meifan. Something to note about Meifan is she is linked to the Halloween event, so you are not going to be getting Meifan anytime soon. The only real reason I'm going over Meifan right now is because she is the epitome of Martial Masters. And you think Martial Master, you think Meifan. And I'm going to run her as the lead instead of a different leader, because when I run Meifan, I normally run her with her leader skill. She is normally my Thunder lead. Though recently I've been playing around with Sharon a bit, to be honest. So, the major difference between the job enchantments is this first skill here, which is the 32 Jewel Strike skill, now has a high modifier for machines, which we're not on a machine map right now, but there aren't many great low-level machine maps to really show it off. And the other change is her Cedar Flash Stick now also has a modifier for machines. And this is a common trend among all the Martial Master job enchantments. It's just modifiers. There is no new skills, there's no new fun like an extra move like Spyan has on Dark Cavalier. There's no extra resist. It's just literally just some extra modifiers. Super boring, really. It really is super boring. But what makes Meifan so great is because she has such high physical attack, she can constantly do really high damage without much effort. Looking about 2.7k on just a normal attack on a water unit. That's just crazy. Even by Japan standards, Meifan's base damage is really high. Now, unlike other units like, say, Gerard, she does not have a charge up. And you will see a difference there that Meifan does high consistent damage, but she isn't going to be doing those 10 to 30k nukes. Meifan's is really a bruiser at heart. She goes in, she tanks up some hits, she gets down some good damage, maybe spreads some status. If it's a machine enemy, she will absolutely rock them. I mean, she'll destroy them. In fact, Meifan is one of the key units to clearing Neo Vita floor 115, because that has a lot of machine enemies in it. And that's something you're going to find a lot, and the reason why I think Meifan is one of the better Martial Masters is in a lot of really high level maps, you're going to find machine enemies. Gumi loves putting that AJ 7000 or whatever it is in like some of the really hardcore maps, and a lot of the other AJs. You're gonna find them at the top of Vita. You're gonna find them everywhere. It's not like flying enemies, which aren't even in the game yet in Global, or like amorphous enemies, which will be coming in Chapter 4. Machine enemies are everywhere, and you can make really good use of Meifan on machine maps. I'm not really going to go into the rest of her kit because you should already know what the Martial Master kit does. Status, and with Meifan having Overdrive, she actually can bring the damage. Some other Martial Masters, I know that you're getting Thetis soon, and Thetis is the fastest unit in the game. Hands down, there is no unit that can go faster than Thetis if she's a ninja. The problem with Thetis is she just doesn't really have the damage to back it up. Silma, or Spica's sister, the Wind Martial Master, is actually the worst Martial Master because she does not have a movement passive. A Martial Master with 3 moves is awful. It's just that simple. You have to have 4 move to make use of Martial Master. So unfortunately, Meifan is still going to be stuck with her move +1 passive in Global for a long time to come, because you really do need that extra move to be effective as a Martial Master, because you do have to gather jewels with them. Other Martial Masters, Olga is a standout Martial Master, if not really because of her damage, but because of her synergy with Black Killer Tearfang, and her ability to stop Black Killer Tearfang in order to abuse her Guts skill. I believe Kahari posted a video of that, if you wanted to check that out. I can't really think of any other major Martial Masters off of the top of my head, but pretty much the common theme is lack of damage, good on a map that you can abuse the status, but for the most part, Martial Master is a good class. It's just not gonna really carry you through a map like other classes can. So that's all I got for Martial Masters. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new job enchantments. You're also getting the Dragon Cavalier job enchantments, and I've already gone over those. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do next. We don't know for sure what new job enchantments are coming to Global. I am probably going to do a video on Soul coming up soon. Because the one thing I have noticed about Global is they have a really hard time wrapping their head around what Soul is, what Soul does, and what the hype is all about. So, with Soul getting his Kaigan in Japan sometime tonight, I'll probably throw together a video about him and exactly why you should or shouldn't pull for him, and if you do pull for him, what you can expect. Because Soul's going to be released at a different time in Global than he was in Japan, and that's going to really affect whether you want to pull for him or not. So look forward to that. Anyways, thanks for watching as always, and hopefully I will see you next time.